Who's ready to talk about some football? It's John Kuzma from EndZoneBlog.com, and we're going to discuss Mark Ingram and the Baltimore Ravens in this latest episode. Mark Ingram, he leaves the New Orleans Saints and he signs with the Baltimore Ravens on a 3-year, $15 million contract. Baltimore lost a lot of key pieces on defense this offseason, but they do get Earl Thomas and they do get Mark Ingram. And now they're going to try to make do with what they have. Now, we know Baltimore will always be near the top of the rankings as long as Lamar Jackson is their quarterback. And when I say the rankings, I'm talking about rushing yardage. When you have a quarterback that is primarily a runner, that automatically gives you an advantage over a lot of other teams who have a quarterback who mainly throws the ball. So I think right away, with pairing up Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson, Baltimore is going to have one of the best rushing attacks in the league. And I think this acquisition is huge because even though they brought in Greg Roman and they're going to run, the old offense that Colin Kaepernick ran with the San Francisco 49ers because Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator there. And we saw Kaepernick, he showed what he could do with his legs in San Francisco. I think those plays are going to work well with Lamar Jackson, but you have to realize they want to protect Lamar Jackson at all costs. And if Mark Ingram is running the ball extremely well, they're going to hand the ball off as much as they can and let him do what he does best. And what Mark Ingram does is he sheds a lot of tackles. He's also very good at, watching the defense flow, making a cut, and then running to daylight. So he's very good at reading the play from a running back standpoint because, if it's a toss left and everybody over pursues, he's going to cut back against the grain to the right and make everyone pay for having poor leverage. That's what Mark Ingram can bring to this offense. And, for $15 million, I think this was a perfect acquisition for this system. Between having Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram running the zone read and taking advantage of Mark Ingram's ability to impose his will on the defense, Lamar Jackson's going to have a ton of running lanes open. And it's almost like a counter to the aggressiveness of the defenses that they face. So it's going to be so hard to top those guys. I think Baltimore has, lost a little bit of ground from where they were a year ago just because they did lose so many pieces on defense. But now they kind of have a nucleus of players that they can build around and rebuild this team back up on kind of like a soft rebuild, similar to some of the other teams we've seen around the league. You see Seattle always pull a soft rebuild where they never completely tank and bounce back. I think Baltimore's in a position where they could do that. And Mark Ingram, he's got two 1,000-yard seasons in his career. The Baltimore Ravens haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2014 when Justin Forsett went over 1,200 yards. I think Mark Ingram can come in and, end that drought by going for 1,000. Why not? Because Lamar Jackson, he can't do it all. You can't risk him getting hurt. Let him, do his thing on passing plays when the play breaks down and he needs to improv and, he can get away and pick up the first down without taking any hits. But you don't want to put him in too much trouble. And to me, that means they're going to lean on Mark Ingram even more. So for Ingram, this is perfect for him. He doesn't have to share the load with Alvin Kamara anymore. And Baltimore's other running backs haven't been very good. So I like what's going on there, and it should, be favorable for Mark Ingram. I'm John Kuzma. Check out EndZoneBlog.com.